And I'm live. We can now broadcast up to 8 hours. So be prepared for that. It might take 8 hours, what we're about to do, but it can take no longer than 8 hours. So brevity would be advised, guys.
Know what you're going to do ahead of time. Think about your actions.
Think about your actions at least 6 hours ahead of time. Okay, so we returned to the Veldt, and last time we witnessed a dramatic scene, the last two sessions really, where a fight broke out on the newly formed barricade near the ruins of Gladwell Manor between the gang and its newest ordained member, Sick Chrissy, and a bunch of ravished goblins and red guardsmen and Nastoriel. And at the end of the fight, the heroes proved victorious, but there was a sense that things were not truly resolved. And at the end of this event, the group reformed, and under the watchful supervision of Alistair Robershaw, who received an urgent missive and had to depart with his two sequestration officers. He did so, but not before taking time to install Reinhardt as the new Baron of Gladlock, and taking time to personally interview each of our heroes, Langdon excluded, to take down their motes for posterity regarding some things that had transpired recently. And so to start this session, we're going to go around, and Alistair Robershaw is going to interview each of you, again, Langdon excluded, for his mote repository. Starting with Dr. Cumberbund. Dr. Cumberbund, I have a question for you, sir. Now speak clearly and don't mind my hand. I'm just taking in the information.
All right.
Can you tell me with any certainty who or what is Nasty?
No, I cannot. I think maybe we've had it pushed upon us a couple times, I think, by this demon, and I can tell that it's some sort of psychotic drug, but I don't know much more about it than that.
And presumably you're somewhat an expert in this territory. Is that safe to say, Doctor?
I've had some experience, yes. I've in my efforts to cure, I've also created some potions and things with unexpected side effects, some of them psychotic in nature.
In what way is the entity we witnessed related to this substance?
Well, it appears to be made up of it. It's definitely connected with him. He has the power to control it, like with some kind of otherworldly power.
I thank you for your time, sir. Okay, and we're going to move on to the interview with Stephanie. You can sit down right over here, Stephanie.
Okay.
Now I need you to be very frank with me. Can you tell me with any certainty who or what is Nasty?
Oh, Nasty. It's like, picture the most refreshing thing that you've ever drank on a hot summer day. Combined, everything is going to be okay, and that's Nasty.
Can you tell me about this creature, Nastoriel, the Red Prince?
No, I don't think I really know or no, I don't know anything about him.
Stefan, I do have to ask for your compliance in this situation. It's very important that we get this information back to the Crown. You've seen that this creature is dangerous.
All I want to do is to enjoy my vices. We all have them. I want mine without having to contend with a demon and you and your questions. I don't know what he is. He knows who I am. That's all I know.
Okay, and that's the end of that moat. And now moving on to sit Chrissy. All right, Christy, that's fine. Just put the chair away. If you're not going to sit in it, just stand. It's fine. I need to ask you a question very quickly, all right? It won't take much time.
Okay.
Now, Chrissy, do you understand what happened last night? Do you understand what that big red creature was?
Not really. It kind of reminded me of the tar farm.
Now, I understand you used to be in the employ of a gentleman named Grizz.
Yeah.
How does Grizz connect to the nasty?
I'm not really sure. I was pretty low on the list of things with him. I truly don't know anything. Big words, man. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Chrissy, and get some ointment on those sores.
I love you.
End of moat. Okay, and with that, I'm going to play this recording. See if I can get it to work over the phone here. This first segment is they're both Dan doing the voice acting. This first segment is something that I wrote to prompt him, and then he has a response that he recorded that I haven't heard yet. So I'm going to go ahead and play this for you guys.
Tales of certain legendary rumor.
That's the wrong one. Okay, can you guys hear this all right? Oh, God damn it.
No.
Accepted Solicitor Robichaud. The office of the Crown Counsel has...
Does that come through?
Yeah.
Okay.
Accepted Solicitor Robichaud. The office of the Crown Counsel has reviewed your recent motes and determined they contain extremely privileged information. You are ordered to brand these and all relevant demographics to a dedicated canister at once and prepare them for secure transport. If it is true that Baron Gladwell is dead, then install an acceptable replacement in all haste and conscript a speed skiff downriver to shade Waterseep. Solicitor Bassandra will intercept the canister and secure its transport to our chambers. You will find him in an upper room of the Pale Frog Wayhouse under the name B. You will exchange the canister for a replacement which Bassandra will provide, its contents detailing your further instruction. Urgency and discretion are of the utmost importance, Solicitor. A bright future beacons. The Crown Counsel.
Okay. And this one I have not heard, but this is his response to that prompt.
From the
Oh, God damn it.
From the diary of Alastair Robichaud. In 10 years of service to the Crown, I've been to many, maybe even most inhabited corners of the Veldt. Plenty of uninhabited. By some days I wonder if I've seen every piece of straw this desolate ocean has to offer. I've certainly seen rare glimpses of heaven, More than my fair share of hell on these scrubby seas. Some of it natural and most of it man-made. Farmers battling the elements, families working together and struggling. The pendulum of wants and needs and social entanglements bringing some closer together and putting others at odds. Man and his fellow being are all simple creatures playing whatever hand life happens to deal them. Whether touching kindnesses or cold atrocities, I could always understand. Well, yesterday, that ship set sail, and I hardly have words for the fresh hell into which I seem to have stepped. Even as a man rooted firmly in the knowledge of my own ignorance, what I saw on those docks strains the very limits of my imagination. Poor, brave Stephanie. She always was a survivor, as I found out far too early. I didn't think such concern for another still existed in this jaded heart of mine until I saw her in what seemed to be the clutches of the devil himself. She's clearly withdrawn and not well, but what magnificence comes out when she lets it. What steel and fire. I never thought I'd pity the devil either until he was on the other side of her knife. Whatever this is seems, well, either old or unearthly. It certainly defies the likes of the drunkest legend I've ever heard retold. I will reward those frail old fools in their papered cage handsomely if they can find me even the slightest scrap of help. All the might of the crown can't contain whispers. I certainly don't know how one man can contain a formless evil like this one. Not that it'll stop me trying. It's just another day on the tattered edges of civilization after all, and wits and brute force are twice the currency Dreamstone ever could be. I think it's time to cash in.
Okay. I'm going to give some snaps. I enjoyed that.
Cool. Yeah.
So we're going to return and we're going to experiment this session with what I'm just going to call quadrants for now. The basic concept is that when we're not in combat, our days will pass in 4 broad turns that comprise the day. And the time, for example, from daybreak to high noon will be the first quadrant. Time from high noon to sunset will be the second quadrant. The time from sunset to midnight will be the third quadrant, and the time from midnight to daybreak will be the fourth quadrant of a said day. So, and this may not all like strictly filed down this way, but it's just something we're going to start thinking about and seeing, if it kind of is effective for us. Basically, when we're not in combat, we will take turns kind of detailing what happens or what a player does in a quadrant. And anytime that a scene takes place that's combat or like any kind of action, a dialogue, like anything that we act out on the table or we do theater of the mind is going to effectively take 1 quadrant. So like at the resolution of it, we will move forward 1 quadrant. So basically if, it's morning time and, people are having breakfast or whatever, and a fight breaks out, by the end of the fight, kind of by its resolution, it's not literal, but it's kind of abstract, it'll be high noon. So anyways, this will just kind of give us an indication of how time passes a little bit better, or we're going to experiment with it anyway, see if it works. And also, we want to take into account that during a full 4 quadrant cycle, during a full day, at some point, in order to maintain your health and sanity, you're going to want to sleep and you're going to want to eat. And in order to, achieve those ends or secure the places to, or, get provisions or have a safe place to sleep, that may also take part of a quadrant. You also might, for example, decide you want to, work on a project or, scout something out, whatever. But as we start this session, we're going to go a few days after the events of the fight at the ruins of Gladwell Manor. Alistair Robichaud and his snags have departed, leaving the party outside of Reinhardt's public house, and on their way to they're not sure where. So we're going to open a discussion about what is now to be done. And this is discussion between Stephanie and Chrissy and Dr. Cumberbund.
Well, I'm glad they're gone. Give us a little time to get back in touch with our plans here. I feel like we were being led around there for a while. Let's see. Yeah, getting back to dry land, getting back to maybe we'll fasten or make this little cart into something we can all ride around on.
I think I can help with that.
I don't know. What are our plans now anyway? It's not like we had this grand idea. We're down 5 people, and I don't know if you know this, but there's a demon after me.
Well, yeah, I don't know if there's, I mean, we've only really seen it around this manor house, and I think we should try and get out of his neighborhood, because I think that's the only way we can escape him is by moving.
I agree. We should leave as soon as possible. Chrissy, do you really think you can make something of this? And then I gesture at what is like a boat cart now.
Yeah.
Would you like to clue us in?
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna do are we doing actions now?
We're just having a little dialogue. I was trying to bring my camera up that had the little medicine boat. I gotta switch cameras here.
I think we could modify this to be more usable for us.
I agree. Good job, Chrissy.
Chrissy do a good.
Chrissy did a good.
Okay, so we'll say we're in the first quadrant here of today, and there's also still the issue or possible non-issue of Langdon and where he is, and whether or not the group is going to try to reconcile or rejoin with Langdon. But how is everyone going to spend the first quadrant of the day at this point? And we'll start with Dr. Cumberbund.
So yeah, I'm gonna basically, let's see. So yeah, I'll kind of take point with the little sail cart thing, and I think we'll just kind of move downriver, sort of in the direction, I guess, of Langdon generally, or where we last saw him going.
When we last saw Langdon, where the river split toward the kind of main part of the river and the little rivulet that went off toward. Yeah. Anyways, he's downriver somewhere. Yeah, in the main.
The main section.
The Vester headed downriver.
Okay. Yeah. And then yeah, trying to get. Let's see. So what's the speed of the larger boat there? It's like kind of it has a Somnium engine on it.
Yeah. Before you left Reinhardt's public house, out of appreciation, and as a final act of get away from me as fast as possible. Reinhardt outfitted your boat with a tow crystal somnium drive that makes it effectively a speed skiff, and so yeah, it's a light maneuverable craft that Stephanie can attune with and pilot, and you also have this nifty little craft that Chrissy made up. So yeah, you guys can pretty much chug downriver in the two of these.
All right.
My sick boat.
That's a pretty sick boat. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of maybe organize whatever is left in the little cart and try and get a kind of inventory of what's in there.
Okay, yeah. So I trust you to go ahead and just detail what's inventoried in your cart here, and you can describe that to us when it comes around. Maybe Chrissy will be curious about it. So Stephanie, you guys are floating down river. You're piloting this other craft. Any special notes as we move through our first quad here?
No. I want to note that I'm still pretty, even though it's been days. I'm still pretty. Seem kind of shaken up to look at and kind of jittery.
Kicking the teeth, huh?
Yeah. Other than that, though, I'm just diligently piloting the Somnium craft.
And Chrissy, what's your situation?
I think I'm piloting this here cart boat down the river. Now seems like a good time to like eat some food. So I assume I'm gonna kind of attempt to spearfish with my bottle springer.
Okay, great.
just kind of getting that out of the way, because Chrissy's a hungry boy. He's got all that.
So make just a dexterity-based check as you're moving through this quadrant to successfully catch a meal, and I'd say roll against a 13 for that.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. Oh.
Or I can roll for you if you need.
Yeah, if you would. Yeah.
Gotta pull my dice out.
I rolled a 1, so I guess I don't really eat a whole hell of a lot.
Okay. Chrissy, at some point you do manage to have a predatory fish from the river. You almost catch a fish and you get it partially in the boat, but this thing spines jab your hands and it flops out of the boat. Some damage for your critical failure. You take 3 damage from this wound on your hand.
God damn it.
But it was an admirable try. And you kind of think you've gotten the hang of using this thing as an improvised fishing mechanism, so the check might be smaller next time.
Hell yeah.
Okay, and then I'm going to bring Jeffy in because there hasn't been a turn. Just been sitting patiently. And
Hey.
Tell us about your journey downriver to where you eventually stopped at Pax Pub.
Well, as I went downriver, I knew that I needed to come up with some sort of a plan. That my friends needed help to get out of that type of sticky situation. From what I could tell, everyone was kind of in the hands of the High Solicitor and his goons, and me going up against all those goons didn't seem like such a great idea. So I started heading downstream, and on my way down, I ended up at Pax Pub, and I figured that'd be a good place to kind of wait things out and come up with a little bit of a idea. And I did get an idea while I was there when I was talking to one of the patrons. I was lamenting about some of my problems in a very metaphorical way, and he kind of gave me an idea.
Let's go to that conversation, Langdon.
And it just seems that if you have
hold on. Can we get a couple more fried fish, please? Okay, go ahead.
Well, that's exactly it. If you have so many fish upriver, and they're all being hoarded up there.
No, I'm following you until you get to this upriver thing. You're coming downriver, but the fish are upriver. I work the metaphor out for me.
Well, the fish are trying to go downriver.
Yeah.
Or at least now they're maybe trying to go downriver. There's some fish that are going downriver.
And you said one of the fish is shinier than the other ones.
This fish is extremely shiny. The one that's going downriver.
Okay.
And this fish is the one that everyone wants because it has a secret inside of it. And if it were to reach the king of the sea, then that secret would be blown wide open. Does that make sense at all? Do you understand anything about gods? No. You're not following me at all, are you?
I'm sorry. Just all this talk about fish is making me really hungry, and I'm just waiting for the goddamn fish to come out.
Exactly. There's a goddam that has been set upriver, which is holding all these regular fish captive. And there's one fish that has a secret in it that's being sent downriver at a fast pace. And if I can maybe beat that fish, then maybe I'm the one who can break the news, right?
Oh, okay. Here we go. Can you pass me the vinegar? God, I'm starving.
So I guess my problem is I'm just not quite sure what to do, whether to go back up and try to free all the fish that are stuck in the dam, or if I should chase after the one fish that is really important.
Okay, and so this quadrant passes, and Langdon is fed, so you can tick that off, and you can do a recharge on your hit points. And let's move to who is next. I think maybe, yeah. So we move. So the first quadrant goes by, and it reaches noon. The group on the river travels quickly downstream, and looks like they've got, maybe until close to nightfall to reach the next stop along the river, which they managed to suss out as Pax Pub. And so, yeah, how are you spending the next quadrant? Things are going pretty unremarkably on the river, besides Chrissy getting hurt, his hand hurt at one point. Dr. Cumberbund?
So kind of got the contents of the cart inventoried here. 5 bottles of the acid that we're using before, 3 bottles of this combustible kind of glycerin stuff, and then we have the raw materials to make 2 healing potions as well.
Okay.
So I've got that all kind of organized, and I'm gonna give one of those acid bottles to Chrissy for his Springer. Yeah. Anyway.
And assuming that you can have an idle action as you as this next quadrant passes on the river, what's your idle action?
I'm gonna try and catch a fish or something.
Okay. Using what?
Let's see. So I've got pretty much nothing. Yeah.
I've got a crossbow.
Yeah, a crossbow. So I'll try and tie up. Let's see. What might I have? Yeah, I'm gonna just try and use. I'm gonna use one of my crossbow bolts to try and shoot a fish.
Okay, so for this next quadrant, go ahead and we'll do the same thing, attack roll against a 13 to land a fish.
Okay. Oh, 22.
22. Okay, so you managed to get yourself a nice big flat blind kind of catfish creature and haul it up into your boat.
Cool.
This quadrant. Yeah, let's move on to Stephanie, but you've got a fish now.
All right.
Did you say we can see that this stop is coming up, or it just is, and we're gonna stumble upon it?
You think you'll reach it by nightfall? You think you'll reach it by the
okay.
third quadrant here?
Okay. I am going to look at Dr. Cumberbund and yell, "Hey, how about catching me one of those?" Because I'm steering a craft.
Yeah, you guys can have a back and forth here. Go ahead.
How about this? I'll cut it into 2 fillets, and we'll throw one over there. Christy and I will eat one, and you guys can have the other one.
That works for me.
Yeah, dog.
But I'll start. I'll use my rapier to try and fillet the fish, and toss over one of the fillets onto their boat.
Okay, yeah. So Dr. Cumberbund gives you guys a nice fat, muddy piece of river fish, and
Nice.
Chrissy, how do you contribute this quadrant? He gave you an acid bottle, by the way, so you're equipped with that. Make a note of that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to do with that right now. I guess I'm gonna save that for later. I guess at this point I'm just gonna take time to reflect on my time on the river and just pilot my craft till we get to where we're going. I'm gonna
Give us a short bit of Sick Chrissy prose about being on the river.
Well, I don't know how I ended up here, but here I am, floating down river on a cart. I never thought I would be here, but I also don't really think. But I do miss Grizz, Skullfuckle. Brian was a funny man with the goo man. You know, like I've said before, life is a high.
All right, that's enough for me, Chrissy. We're going to move back to Langdon. Langdon has parted company in the pub with this other gentleman, his fish-consuming lunch partner, and finds himself standing atop one of the 2 tables in this small little fish pub with perhaps a little bit too little to do and too much to drink during the day. And we're going to open a scene on that as the sun is starting to set. Hold the phone. Okay. And yeah, he learned something or other.
And I tell you, mates, the thing was like this fucking big, okay? And I jumped right on top of it, and I pulled its jaws wide open, and I stabbed the slimy fucker right in the mouth. Or if it had a mouth, I don't know, it was a big-ass clam.
I never heard of a clam that big. You're running your mouth. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Oh, I know what I was talking about. I slept in it that night. I slept in it, and it was the best sleep I ever got.
You telling me you and some fancy folk go way underground after fighting a bunch of rat people, and then you find yourself in some ancient cave and you think you're gonna have clam for dinner? That doesn't make that's a you.
Well,
off your
hold
rocker.
up here, mate. You missed a fine part of my story. A very important detail. These were not fancy folk. I was the fanciest among them. I was the highest birth of the highest breed of all of them, and they were all just the low lives. Now, if they were here right now, I swear they could vouch for me. But I wouldn't lie to you, would I? I have it all written down right here, and I pull out my book full of the cryptic writings, and I show it to him. What does it say right there? What does it say right there?
Okay, but hold on. There's one detail that doesn't make any sense to me. Where
What?
did the maid go after that whole debacle?
Oh,
You said there was a scullery maid running all around the house. You guys come up from all that, and she's just gone. Nobody even thinks about it twice.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. We did
That seems
remember
like a pretty
though.
keen oversight.
Remember, we did say I did say there was a scullery maid, but when we went upstairs, there was that goblin in the dress, and I'm not quite certain that wasn't the scullery maid the whole time.
Yeah,
Because here's
that's
the
the biggest fish story I ever heard.
thing. Okay, you don't have to believe me, but would I lie about? I don't even have the gem to prove it. I thought I had that big ass gem from inside that clam. Oh, maybe I am making it all up. And
You're lucky those aren't fighting words, mister. Not like there's going to be a fight breaking out in Pax's pub anytime soon.
Wait, is that fighting words? Do you want to fight?
Hell, wouldn't matter if I wanted to. There's never been a fight in Pax's pub.
Never been a fight.
That's why it's called Pax's pub.
I don't follow there, friend.
Well, you saw those two big old stones out front near the river, right?
You better believe I did.
Well, you're dafter than
Remind me
your
again about
story
them.
says if you didn't see those. And we're going to revert back to Dr. Cumberbund here as he cruises in speedily on his medicine cart and does a Captain Ron style skid right into the little dock section there, parking deftly in front of Langdon's garbage barge.
Well,
And Cumberbund, it is your turn. You pull up to a small, modest pub along the river. It's kind of ramshackle, not as nice as the places you've been inhabiting recently. Certainly not even the rugged frontier craftsmanship of Reinhardt's Public House. The only notable feature really is a kind of a worn down overhang in front of this little fisherman shack, essentially. But out front, you see the jutting form of two ancient-looking rune stones. They look like broken fingers jutting up from the beach there. And they're covered in strange markings, scratched in deep in a language or in some hieroglyphic that you have no sense of.
mm-hmm. Oh, well, that's about the most impressive thing around here. Let's see. I'm gonna jump off and tie us off like right in the front, right at the end of the dock.
Okay. You tie off the medicine boat and jump off onto the dock. And Stephanie, you pull in your craft right behind, so there's not much space left to dock up.
All right, I'll yell to Dr. Cumberbund. Are we planning on staying here for a while? Because I don't know what to do with this thing. And then gesture uselessly at the craft.
Yeah, well, I need a drink. I'll tell you that much. I'm going inside. Langdon's here. This cart.
All right, do you think this is just going to float down river if we jump off, or is it going to be okay here?
No, you got to tie it off on something. Here, tie it off around one of those stones.
I don't know. All right.
Stephanie motions to these large standing stones, ancient and weathered, covered in strange runes. There looks like an outcropping that could accept a bit of rope or cord.
All right, I will try to...
And actually, Stephanie, I want you to make a vision check here.
Okay. What is
do a wisdom check as you witness these runes.
All right, I got a 10.
Okay, yeah, you just sense kind of a magical presence, or a magical some vague magical feeling from these rooms.
All right.
You tie off the boat then?
Yeah, I'm gonna tie it off hesitantly, but I am gonna do it.
Okay, and Chrissy, you don't know how it works or exactly what it is, but you know that this big red rock that they've got is very valuable to them, and you feel the need to, probably guard it while we're here, and you know that they want to protect it. And it's your turn, Chrissy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna just probably stay outside on this one here, guard the rock, since I am both ugly and wounded perpetually. Probably not safe for a bar. I guess
That sounds. Oh, damn it. That sounds good, Chrissy. We'll be. Do you drink? We'll bring you a beer.
yeah, I like beer.
Okay, so you guys gonna head up to the tavern?
Yeah.
Pardon me. Okay, so you leaving Chrissy behind, lonely by the boat. You enter into this shack, and as you pass by the plane of these two standing stones, you feel this kind of palpable sense of relief and just kind of like a weight was lifted off of your shoulders. And you enter in through the front door here, and
My
it
boy, my
clangs
boy.
behind you, and you see a familiar face.
Oh, my boy, my boy. And I come rushing up and give him a big drunk hug and spill some beer down his shirt.
Whoa, whoa.
My boy, I never thought that I'd see you again.
Dude, where'd you go? How long have you been here? A while, I guess.
Oh, not too long. Just a moon or so. Oh, what happened to you? Where did you guys you shook the lawman, huh?
Yeah, well, he kind of shook us, I guess. He took off, but
And he
otherwise we'd still be
shook
stuck with him.
sick little monster too.
No, he's out. He's watching. He wanted to stay outside, I guess.
Oh. Well, suppose that's
He's still
all
there.
right.
He's he's a valuable member of our team. Apparently, not quite valuable enough to come inside, but
Well,
you
we'll
know.
see about that. So how'd you shake him? How'd you get rid of the edge, huh?
Well, he was doing a full interrogation of all of us and trying to get his story straight. But I think he softened to us because we had to have each other's back in a few little fights, some tiffs, a few things broke out. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's as eager to prosecute us as he was before.
Oh, well, yeah, his kind can't quite be trusted. These guys here, the great guys, they're all right. I've just been here. I was trying to rally these troops up and get them to come stage a rescue mission, but I see you've made it out okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not that they'd be much help. They're kind of pacifists.
Oh, really?
Yeah, said they've never been in a fight.
Never in a fight?
Never been in a fight. Not on these grounds.
What's the story with that?
I don't know. You just keep saying never been in the fight. And then mention the big old stones outside, as if there was something.
You talking? What are you talking about over there?
Just telling that big tale you were telling me. You've got a lie. I've apparently got a lie. You don't believe me about that clam. Oh, that reminds me. Do you have it? Do you have the gem?
Yes, I do. But what
Show
do we
him the
got to
clam
prove to
gem.
these yokels?
Come on in, sirs. Would you like something to drink? All are welcome here at Paxis.
Yeah, that sounds just fine. What do you have? Any aged brandy?
Oh, can't say I've got anything that fancy. Just the stuff of life, the stuff that'll put hair on your chest, and you don't have to worry about any fights breaking out. We've got an impeccable record here.
Well, yeah, I'll go up to the bar and just slam both my hands on him. Well, that sounds just great. Get us 3 of those.
All right, you see, he takes a big glass jug, and he pours a little bit into 3 cups, and then he finishes it with some salty river water, or silty river water, and slides them over to you. Puts a little bit of vinegar in each one. Chink, chink, chink. There you go. Don't worry, it's plenty strong.
I see you're making watering down your drinks sort of a feature here.
Oh, trust me, this stuff for life here. You want to water it down. You don't want to drink it straight.
I'm gonna
Last guy
look
who had a
over
straight-
at.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
Oh, sorry. I want to look over at Langdon and gesture with my drink and say, "You've been drinking this?"
And I look at my drink and I look at her and I go, I don't know what you're talking about, and I throw my drink out the window.
Langdon, you are horrified that they've caught you drinking such a colloquial beverage here.
I've only been drinking the one I've been carrying, which I'm all out of.
See, Stephanie, gentlemen such as Langdon and I are accustomed to a certain level of refinement in our vices. I'm gonna say, well, chugging back a big drink of this beverage.
That's fine. More for me.
All of a sudden, Chrissy bursts through the door of the bar, holding the toe crystal in his hands, apparently having pried it loose from the boat. And he speaks.
Chrissy, what are you doing?
I got a thing.
Oh, good idea. Yeah, just bring that inside.
You see the patrons of the bar turn, and everyone falls silent as they see you bringing this extremely valuable piece of artifact into the bar. But the attitude quickly shifts, and things pretty much go back to normal, besides a few looks of distinguishment from the bar patrons.
I'm gonna go up to and say, "See, there it is. That prized gem we ripped out of that clam. I told you it was real."
Well, next round's on me. You put your money where your mouth is.
Now you tell me what's real about them stones. What's going on with those things up there?
Well, the Paxis stones, they've been here as long as anybody can figure. A long time before this shack. See, the thing is, folks always found this a nice place to rest along the river, and, well, being around those stones just puts you at ease. Some say that there's powerful runes inscribed in those stones, and that they'll lay a powerful curse on anybody who breaks the peace. And seems that most folks take that pretty seriously.
What kind of curse?
Well, it's all colorful legend and rumor at this point, but in the old tales, they say that the Paxis stones are put there by two giant clans, and that
Giant clams?
Giant clams?
No, not giant
I
clams.
told you giant clams.
No, and I don't mean that the size of the clans was large. There were clans of giant beings. Anyways, So this was a meeting space and sort of a truce ground for these two giant clams. Oh, goddamn, now you got me doing it. And anyhow, they placed powerful wards here such that any that would seek conflict would be terribly cursed for doom and pain for all time or some such shit like that. Anyway, mostly we just are laid back fishermen around here, and we like to get our drink on, do a little business, and hell, I got to water down these drinks. Last time I served them straight, the folks that came in, they left everything behind, and I've been taking care of 2 horses since.
Well, okay.
2 horses, huh?
Okay, so you guys hang out in the bar. You have a drink. You know, Chrissy sits there and polishes the toe crystal. The 3rd quadrant passes, and it seems like it's about time to rest. What are you each gonna do, Cumberbund?
You got any rooms for that here, by the way? Somewhere we can take a load off?
Sorry, friend, I ain't got any rooms for sale. I've got some space on the pad out back. If you've got a tent to pitch or other such accommodation, you're welcome to plop yourself down there.
All right.
Do I have a room for rent that I've been at?
Don't have rooms to offer you. Sorry, stranger.
Oh, I've been here for a couple days. I was
going to ask you to just return to that same patch of woods you've been occupying. And just reaching to a minimum, if you would.
Figured there would have been, there might have been a wait list.
The woods? You've been sleeping in the woods.
It's nothing I'm not accustomed to.
He's not going to sleep in the stable with the horses, am I right? On account of you hating all animals, that is.
Oh, yeah. I totally would have killed the horses if it wasn't for this peaceful environment.
I'm surprised you didn't have them poisoned or fallen into some hole in the ground or something.
Must have been these stones.
And yeah, as you guys are conversing in such a way, the shutters sort of blow in, and a cold kind of chilling breeze blows through the pub and stokes the fireplace. And there's just kind of whispers about it. Said, "I'd keep it civil in here, guys. Let's keep that ill talk to a minimum."
So has anyone ever gotten this curse?
Well, I did hear a long time ago of a fella came in here, tried to rustle up some trouble. Apparently didn't like the fact that there was a half-orc at the bar. And fisticuffs did break out, and, well, the very next day, both of them were found melted into a puddle. But that's just a story. Could have been they pissed themselves and ran off.
Melted into a puddle. So there was just a puddle on the ground, and those guys left.
Just a big mud puddle and some dirty rags left behind.
Yeah, well, I can't say that I'm convinced of that on the count of the number of times that I've left a puddle and rags behind.
Me either. Hey, Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy. How does that make you feel, knowing that they don't welcome half-orcs here and they just turn them into a puddle?
I think you're a goddamn motherfucker.
Yeah.
See, now you're getting Chrissy all upset, getting them all agitated.
I don't got a whole lot of thought. Fucking goddamn ass.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It's not quite fair that they'd turn all the half-orcs that come in here into a puddle.
I mean,
don't rile the kid up. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, my misunderstanding. It must have been the drink in me not hearing your words correctly.
Stephanie, what are you gonna do for this quadrant?
I'm gonna look at Chrissy and I'm gonna say, Come on, let's go. We're going back to the boat, and I need you and that crystal with me in case anything happens. And then I want to post up on the boat for the night and sleep there.
Okay, so you head back. Chrissy, you follow her?
Yeah.
All right, Chrissy shuffles out and puts the tow crystal back in its place in the boat, and you guys sort of make camp there by the barge under the beaming kind of aura of one of these Paxis stones. And yeah, I think that the night goes. I think that this is where we are going to close things off for tonight.
Hey, barkeep, what do we owe you for these drinks?
Well, what are you carrying? You got gold?
Yeah, we do. Just gold supplies are, they're just a little low right now. Very low, in fact. In fact, I'm plumb out of gold.
Well, what have you got of value?
I'm plumb out of gold. All I got is lead.
Let's well, I've got let's see, I have this bottle of nasty, 3 of them. One of them's 2 of
You
them.
never heard of that stuff. What are you talking about?
Well, it's a powerful potion. I'll tell you what, it'll calm this place right down. I'll tell you, it's yeah. But I'm thinking it's a rarefied potion.
Give me a sniff on it.
Worth more than all day's river water drinks.
Make a charisma check here.
Oh, natural 20, 24.
Okay, he's very intrigued by the potion that you're hawking here. Says, "Well, let me have a taste of it."
Take a whiff off it.
Okay, he takes a drink and then he takes a short sip and he says, "I gotta say, it don't taste much different than what I've been mixing here lately. It's pretty good."
All right, so what do you say? Deal's a deal?
Well, all right. I think we're square. You say if you got a couple more bottles, I got a couple of horses I'm looking to sell.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see.
He leads you outside, and as he does so, a bottle in hand, he sips now and then, and kind of gets increasingly agitated and kind of riled up. Ooh, okay. Come right on out here.
I like this energy. All right, yeah, let's do it. Let's make a deal.
Shows you 2 horses in a big covered caravan. He says, "Oh, these guys just pulled into town and got all ripping drunk and disappeared. And well, they left this pack horse and this rider here and this big cart full of nothing, and it's just taking up space in my place."
Well, yeah, I'd say for a couple.
It's kind of burning me.
Yeah, it's addictive, isn't it? It just kind of makes you want more.
Kind of downs the rest of the bottle, and he smashes the bottle down on the ground. Ah! Kind of screams out.
Well, let's see. How about one bottle for all of it? We'll take the lot for one more of these bottles.
All right, do a follow-up charisma check. I'll give you advantage because the first one was so good here.
Oh, good. I got a 2 on that. 9.
I don't know.
Could I have been listening in on this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I've got another bottle I could throw in there. I've got another one of those bottles that you might really like. What if I put in this other bottle? And I swish it around next to his ear and make sure he hears all the swishingness.
Oh,
That's
now
it.
that is a rarefied potion right there. One of the
That's a
rarest I've
deal.
ever seen.
He clutches the bottle from me and he pops it open and takes a drink.
That's a deal. That's the deal there.
Boom, boom, boom. Here you go. He tosses you a single copper key.
Oh, great. Hey, they have saddles for both these horses?
Just the one.
Oh, well, that's not great, is it? Kind of thought we were going to get two.
And he walks away from you and he's drinking down the bottle there.
Hey. Maybe this is a harebrained idea here, Doctor. But you remember those potions that the dogs drank and got really big?
That was that?
No.
No.
That was just some nasty. But I do have two of those special liquids. I've been waiting for the right time to give them, and seeing that there's two horses and two bottles, might be worth a shot.
Well, I think the potential here is enormous and also hilarious.
All right, so pause right here, and I'm going to go through, and we're going to do our closing remarks for the night. Let's start with Stephanie.
Okay. I can't help but feel like I know what this says. I'm thinking to myself as I'm laying down as far away from Chrissy as possible, looking at the giant stone and drifting off to sleep. It's like I can almost feel that some part of myself knows what that says, and somewhere in me, if I could just focus long enough or figure it out, I could read it.
All right. Chrissy.
Well, once again, I'm just happy to be with my friends and that they brought me along again. And it's kind of cold in the boat, but you know what? Sometimes that's okay, especially when you got a pretty little rock with you. And if that son of a bitch says anything about half orcs again, I'll rip his goddamn motherfucking head off.
Wow. There's a pulsing coming from the stones. Dr. Cumberbund.
Well, I think we just got a hell of a deal on a couple of horses and this giant, amazing cart, which is great. Although I was kind of hoping that maybe if he drinks enough of that stuff, he's gonna freak out, and we'll get our little scientific approach here. We'll see if this curse is a real thing or not, because if it's not, I think this seems like an elaborate shill to me. Everyone's peaceful, and seems like a great thing for a bar owner to say, that there's a big curse if you fight or get rowdy. It's just a little too convenient. I just don't think it's true.
And Langdon.
Well, it's all just so good. My friends are back. We got some horses, and horses is just about the one animal that I can stand, and I've got one of them. And I think I'm gonna name it Carrie Ann, because that horse ain't nothing to me but some future dead flesh. So, Carrie Ann, you're gonna be a good horse, and maybe one day you're gonna get big and strong from all the potions I give you, or maybe you'll pop, and that'll be pretty funny too.
All right, I'm going to terminate the broadcast here.